Welcome to the Value Cruiser, where we search out the deals for you to save you time and money.
We hope that you didn't let the deals sail away while we were enjoying our cruise deal on Adventure of the Seas in October. We will have videos about how this was a good value and our experience on this cruise in future videos coming up later this year. And here are the deals for the week of November 7th, 2025. All prices are for interior rooms unless otherwise noted, and we're going to go in chronological sailing dates starting with the soonest sailing. And before we reveal today's first deal of the week, we want to remind you that you can follow us right here on YouTube and other social media channels, and feel free to like and subscribe for daily deals and other Value Cruiser related content. We're going to start out with the deals for the week with this last minute deal from Celebrity. It's $262 per person, and it's a 6-night cruise out of Fort Lauderdale sailing at November 15th. So very, very soon, if you can do this last minute. You're going to do round trip from Fort Lauderdale. You're going to go to Bimini, Cozumel, and Georgetown, Grand Cayman on this sailing. There are still a couple of last minute deals on Royal Caribbean that are good as well, and this one is one of them. This is an 8-night Eastern Caribbean cruise on Adventure of the Seas sailing out of Port Canaveral, Florida, sailing at the end of the month, November 28th, 2025, and it is $521 per person. If you can sail last minute, this is a great deal. You're going to go round trip from Orlando. You're going to go to Puerto Plata, San Juan, St. Thomas, and St. Croix on your voyage. Norwegian has quite a few good deals for them if you can sail within the next 6 months or so. This is the first one of those. This is an 11-day Panama Canal round trip cruise from Miami. It includes Mexico, Costa Rica, and Belize. From $699 per person. Sailing dates December 1st through December 12th of 2025. You can get December 12th through the 23rd for $739 per person as well. Ocean views for the December 1st sailing, you can get an ocean view for $739 also on that sailing. So not bad there. Let's take a look at the itinerary. You're going to do a round trip from Miami. It includes stops in Grand Cayman, Cartagena, Colombia, Panama Canal, Gatun Lake, Panama, Colón, Panama, Costa Rica, Harvest Key, Belize, and Cozumel, Mexico on your round trip journey. Good deal for what you get on this cruise. Next we have a Holland America cruise. This is a 7-day Eastern Caribbean that includes San Juan and St. Thomas on Holland America Zuiderdam, sailing round trip from Miami from December 6th through December 13th of 2025. Your price is going to be $499 per person for the cheapest inside stateroom. Here's your itinerary. You're going to start, again, round trip from Miami. Have a day at sea before you go to Grand Turk, San Juan, St. Thomas, and then another day at sea before you go to Half Moon Cay in the Bahamas before returning to Miami. Our first entry was Norwegian Jewel out of Miami. This is a Norwegian Dawn cruise out of Tampa, Florida. This is a 7-night cruise. That's to the Western Caribbean round trip from Tampa, including Cozumel and Harvest Key. $399 per person. Your sailing dates right before Christmas, December 14th through December 21st, 2025. Pretty good deal overall. You can also get an ocean view for under $500. Anything under $500 is good for a 7-night cruise. You're going to do Tampa round trip, 2 at-sea days before you go to Harvest Key, Belize, Roatan, Honduras, and Cozumel, Mexico on your round trip journey under $400 for an interior room. Virgin Voyages has an entry in this week's Deals of the Week. We have a 7-night voyage on Resilient Lady, round trip from Miami, including Cozumel, Grand Cayman, and Bimini. For 2 people, it's $1,386, which is $693 per person. Remember, Virgin does include a bunch of things that other cruise lines don't include, which is all dining and sodas, in addition to more. They are going to be round trip from Miami. This one going to Georgetown, Grand Cayman, Cozumel, Mexico, and the Beach Club at Bimini. Most of the itineraries sailing in January are going to be this price, so take a look at their website. This was our favorite itinerary of the ones that were presented for the exact same price. Here's the last Royal Caribbean entry for the week. Even though they're having a Black Friday sale, we didn't really find that many good deals beyond a couple of months out. This one is a good one, however. This is an Oasis of the Seas Western Caribbean cruise sailing January 4th of 2026 for $555 per person. And if you look, you can get a balcony for a little over $700 and an ocean view for $655, which is still pretty reasonable for this ship and this itinerary. You're going to sail out of Fort Lauderdale round trip. You're going to go to Nassau, Falmouth, Jamaica, and a few days at sea. So that's it for this 6-day journey. Again, the mega ships, you kind of go for the ship more than the itinerary a lot of times, and that's the case on this cruise. If you want to sail out of New York City, this is a pretty good deal for you on Norwegian. This is an 11-day round trip from New York, going to the warm islands of the Dominican Republic and St. Thomas on the Norwegian Breakaway. Your itinerary is round trip again from New York for this 12 or 11-day voyage, and you will be going at sea days at the beginning, 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end. Your ports are going to be Puerto Plata, San Juan, Tortola, Phillipsburg, and St. Thomas. Going to these warm destinations, sailing from a cold New York City, January 23rd through February 3rd, 2026, for $719 per person. If you want to sail out of New York, but MSC is more your taste, this is a great deal around the same time frame as the Norwegian cruise. $299 per person, only a 7-night cruise instead of an 11-night on MSC Meraviglia, sailing to the Bahamas. Here is your round trip itinerary from New York. You have a day at sea. You'll stop in Port Canaveral, Ocean Key Marine Reserve in the Bahamas, and Nassau before 2 days at sea, returning to New York. A nice Bahamas getaway from New York City, February 1st through February 8th, 2026. We chose this itinerary from MSC because it has a free balcony upgrade, which you don't find a lot. This is a 4-night Caribbean and Bahamas cruise on MSC Seashore, one of their newer ships, sailing February 1st through February 5th of 2026. Interior rooms are $232 per person. You're going to sail round trip from Port Canaveral, Florida to Ocean Key and Nassau in the Bahamas. Now, if you're looking for a balcony room, it is the same price as an ocean view room. Again, the interiors are $232, but you can get an ocean view or a free balcony upgrade for $342. Here's a good deal on Princess for our deals of the week this week. This is a 7-day Southern Caribbean with Barbados and Antigua. Pretty good ports there. Sailing March 8th through March 15th of 2026. Your interior rooms start at $574. This is a round trip itinerary from San Juan, Puerto Rico. You're going to go to St. Thomas, St. Martin, Antigua, Dominica, and Barbados on this 7-night journey with only 1 at-sea day. A lot of ports packed into this cruise, which is a benefit of sailing from San Juan, and you can do it all for under $600. From the Grand Princess to the Celebrity Constellation, that's our next entry in the deals of the week. This is sailing around spring break time, March 22nd of 2026. It's a 7-night round trip voyage out of Tampa to Mexico and the Bahamas. Your interior rooms are $551 per person. Not too bad for this week. Again, you'll be going round trip from Tampa. You'll have 2 days at sea with ports in Costa Maya, Cozumel, and Nassau. Here's a transatlantic entry into this week's deals of the week. This one is under $600. We've been watching this, and this is the first time it has fallen under $600. This is going to sail Saturday, April 11th, 2026 to Friday, April 24th, 2026 on a 13-day transatlantic journey on the Carnival Glory. You're going to start in Barcelona, Spain, go to Alicante, Malaga, Gibraltar, and Celebration Key before ending in Port Canaveral. Here's a look at that itinerary a little bit more. Barcelona, Alicante, Malaga, and Gibraltar before 8 days at sea going to Celebration Key before you end up in Orlando. Transatlantics are nice, and this one's going to be on the Carnival Glory. If you want to have a good, long Southern Caribbean cruise with a little bit of Italian flair, check out this one from Carnival. This is from $824 per person on the Carnival Venezia, sailing starting in Orlando and then ending in New York City, which is part of why this is a decent deal here. You are going to go to Celebration Key, Aruba, Curacao, and St. Thomas on this journey, sailing May 17th, 2026 through May 28th of 2026. Here's a more detailed look at the itinerary. You'll go to Celebration Key, 2 days at sea, Aruba, Curacao, a day at sea, St. Thomas, and then 3 days at sea before returning to New York City. The next Princess entry here is a 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruise with Puerto Rico on the Regal Princess, sailing September 12th through September 19th of 2026. So you have a little bit of time to plan. This is under $500. It is $484. Anytime you can get a 7-day cruise, especially this far out for under $500, is a really good deal. You're going to sail round trip from Fort Lauderdale with 3 days at sea, and your ports are going to be San Juan, Amber Cove, and Grand Turk on this 7-day journey. If you want to plan a Pacific Coast cruise in 2027, this is a good option for you and a good value. This is a Celebrity cruise sailing from Los Angeles to Vancouver on the Celebrity Summit as it repositions to go to Alaska. May 3rd of 2027 is the sailing date, and it is $537 per person. You're going to start in Los Angeles, have 2 days at sea, and then go to Astoria, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and Victoria, British Columbia, before ending in Vancouver on this 6-night journey. And rounding out our deals of the week is this Carnival cruise that's over 2 years out now, December 4th through December 12th of 2027. However, it's a good deal for a Southern Caribbean itinerary. You're going to sail out of Miami, Florida on this 8-day Southern Caribbean itinerary on the Carnival Magic. It is hitting the highlights of the Southern Caribbean, the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, from $644 per person, which is about as cheap as you can sail from Florida to get down to the Southern Caribbean. You're going to have an entire day in Aruba from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., the same in Bonaire, and then you're going to have your business hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Curacao before your 2 sea days coming back to Miami.
And those are your cruise deals for the week. Thank you very much for watching. Happy cruising, and we will see you on the next deal.